In the 1970s, deep in the isolated hills of Blackstone, a family moved into an old, dilapidated mansion. The Blackstone Manor was known in the area for its eerie atmosphere and unsettling history. Built in the late 1800s, the manor was originally home to a wealthy family. But tragedy struck when the parents were brutally murdered in what seemed like a ritualistic sacrifice. The manor was abandoned for decades, left to rot in the wilderness. The Anderson family, consisting of Mark, his wife Linda, and their teenage daughter Katie, moved in, unaware of the sinister history that awaited them. Shortly after they arrived, strange things began happening. Strange noises, shadows moving in the corners, and a heavy feeling in the air, as if the house itself was watching them. It wasn't long before they realized that the house was haunted, and it wasn't just any ordinary ghost. It was something much darker. The entity that haunted Blackstone Manor wasn't merely a restless spirit. It was a demon, a malevolent force that had been waiting in the shadows for over a century. The family experienced terrifying visions, their thoughts invaded, and their dreams twisted into horrifying nightmares. One night, as Mark was investigating the strange occurrences, he discovered an old hidden room beneath the manor. In it, he found arcane symbols, blood-stained rituals, and an old journal describing the demon that had been summoned by the original family. The journal told of the demon's insatiable hunger for souls and its ability to manipulate the living. It fed off fear, growing stronger with each soul it consumed. That night, Linda woke up to find Katie missing. In a panic, they searched the house, only to find their daughter trapped in the basement, surrounded by dark symbols drawn on the floor. Katie's eyes were glazed over, and she spoke in a voice that wasn't hers. The demon had claimed her as its next victim. Desperate to save their daughter, Mark and Linda sought the help of a local priest who was familiar with the dark history of the manor. The priest arrived and immediately recognized the signs of demonic possession. He told the family that the demon could only be banished through a powerful exorcism ritual, but the danger was great. If they failed, the demon would claim not only Katie, but also their souls. The exorcism was long and violent. The demon fought back, throwing objects, making terrifying noises, and even manifesting physically, its dark, twisted form growing in size. Mark and Linda watched in horror as their daughter screamed, her body contorting, and the demonic presence tried to take full control. It wasn't until the priest completed the final incantation that the demon was forced to leave Katie's body. But the victory came at a great cost. The manor was left in ruins, and the family was never the same again. The demon's presence lingered, even after it was banished, leaving scars in the minds of those who experienced it. Blackstone Manor was eventually demolished, but the whispers of the demon's presence still haunt the locals to this day, with many claiming that its spirit never truly left. In 1982, a young couple, Sarah and Tom, moved into an old Victorian house on the outskirts of a small town in New England. The house was beautiful, but there was something off about it. A lingering chill and an oppressive sense of unease that hung in the air. It was their dream home, but they had no idea that it would soon turn into their worst nightmare. The house had been abandoned for decades, and the previous owners had mysteriously vanished. There were rumors that the house was haunted, but Sarah and Tom, skeptical of such things, dismissed them as local legends. They were eager to start their new life and didn't let the whispers of the past deter them. Soon after moving in, strange things started happening. At night, they would hear faint scratching sounds coming from the walls, like something was trapped inside. Sometimes the air would grow cold in one room, even when the rest of the house remained warm. Objects would move on their own, and doors would open and close with no explanation. One night, while Sarah was alone, she heard a loud bang coming from the attic. Fearing the roof had collapsed or that an animal had gotten inside, she went to investigate. When she opened the attic door, she found the room in complete disarray, but there was something more, a strange symbol carved into the floorboards. The symbol looked ancient, and Sarah felt an immediate sense of dread wash over her. It was as if the house itself was alive, breathing with dark energy. Over the next few days, Sarah and Tom began to feel like they were being watched. Tom started having vivid nightmares, waking up in the middle of the night, drenched in sweat, unable to remember what he had dreamed. But he felt something, the weight of an unseen presence, something evil and ancient that had been waiting for them. As the days passed, the manifestations grew stronger, lights flickered, strange noises filled the house, and the scratching in the walls grew louder. Then came the whispers, faint at first, but unmistakable. A voice, cold, raspy, and low, would call their names in the dark. It was as if the house was trying to communicate with them. Sarah, terrified, began researching the house's history and discovered the horrifying truth. The house had been built on ancient burial grounds, and the previous owners had been involved in occult rituals. One particular ritual, known as the demon binding, had gone horribly wrong, summoning an evil spirit that had become trapped in the walls of the house. Sarah and Tom were living in the home of an ancient demon, a malevolent force that had waited for centuries to break free. It had grown stronger over time, feeding on the fear of the inhabitants, and now it was ready to claim them. One fateful night, after they decided to leave, the demon revealed itself. The walls of the house groaned and cracked, as if the house itself was coming alive. The demon appeared before them, its dark, smoky form writhing and contorting. It had the shape of a man, but its face was nothing but a horrible, twisted mass of shadows. Its voice was deafening, filled with rage and hunger. Tom and Sarah tried to flee, but the demon chased them, moving faster than anything humanly possible. The house seemed to shift around them, trapping them inside. They managed to escape, but not before the demon made one final attempt to pull them back into the depths of the house. They never spoke of what happened that night. Sarah and Tom abandoned the house and moved far away. Years later, the house was torn down, but the screams and whispers that haunted the town are still remembered to this day. The demon's curse never truly ended. The land remains abandoned, and those who venture too close claim to feel an overwhelming presence, the suffocating sensation of being watched by something evil. If you enjoyed the video, please like, subscribe, and share our channel to support us, so we can continue making more chilling stories for you. Thank you for watching, and enjoy your shadow tales.